Good morning, welcome to Headline Focus here on Core Politics with me, Rob Double. Today is Wednesday the 4th of October 2017 and with the time about 10 minutes before the start of the working day, let's have a look at what's in the news. So politically there's one big event on today. Well, let's park that aside for one moment. That's of course coming up in the Conservative Party conference and look at generally what's in the news. So let's start with the I newspaper. They're claiming an exclusive today, reporting that university maintenance grants are set to return. Now, they were obviously scrapped recently by the government, turned into a loan for students. But Education Secretary Justine Greening is determined to tackle worrying levels of student debts, according to the paper. Theresa May seeks the support of younger voters as well. This is part of her campaign to rejuvenate her leadership and indeed the Tory party in the eyes of the younger generations after their mass support for Jeremy Corbyn at the last election. But as always with the Conservative Party and indeed Conservative-related think tanks, it's always about cost. And according to the Institute for Fiscal Studies, the grants would cost £500 million to bring back and deliver for young people. Next up in the Daily Mail, the post-strike Christmas shopping could be thrown into chaos, according to the Daily Mail. Keyword there is could, not any certainty there. This is after Royal Mail workers voted overwhelmingly for industrial action in a dispute over pensions, pay and working conditions. The paper notes, though, as is important, it's the first national postal strike since the company was privatised in October 2013. One more story then, which isn't really in the headlines because it didn't come through the newswires by the time they went to print, and this comes from Catalonia. The president of Catalonia has told the BBC that the region will be ready to declare independence from Spain within days, so a very short time frame. His government is prepared to act at the end of this week or the beginning of next, so really, genuinely, very, very soon. He also warned the Madrid government that intervention would be an error which changes everything. This comes after King Felipe VI has given a televised address to the people of Spain, calling for calm and declaring organisations of the vote to themselves be outside the law. So that's very much a developing story for today. Keep an eye on your international news feeds if you want to know more. Let's look in focus then at one key story today, and that is, of course, what's happening at the Conservative Party conference. It's Theresa May, the Prime Minister's big speech to end the conference later on. Now, the speech has been widely leaked and reports of it are in pretty much all of the papers, but Theresa May is going to use the speech to call for unity and for the party and indeed members of the party to do our duty by Britain. The Tories need to shape up and not retreat in the face of difficulty, she's reported, as we'll be saying. The speech will include the economy and helping to improve the lives of people, working people in particular. So very much looking at domestic policy, Theresa May wanting to recraft her leadership in the coming few weeks. Also, the cabinet ministers, in the backdrop of the Conservative Party conference, cabinet ministers are deeply frustrated with the Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson for creating days of headlines about party division, particularly to do with Brexit. And the Daily Telegraph, as you can see, leads with his speech yesterday, calling the party to be bold and let the lion roar. Obviously designed there for Conservative Party supporters. I was there in the hall when he gave that speech and I can tell you he went down incredibly well. Final story then comes from The Guardian, looking more across the pond. Gun laws. President Trump has suggested that the time for a national debate on guns will come at some point in the future. He said, his direct quote, "We'll be talking about gun laws as time goes on." This comes after the shooting in Las Vegas, where 59 people died and at least 527 were injured. This is after 64-year-old Stephen Paddock shot from a balcony onto revellers at a music festival. President Trump also went on to call him a sick man, a demented man, with a lot of problems. That's pretty much it for today. You're up to date. Don't forget you can find all the latest on what we're doing on Core Politics on our Facebook page and on Twitter. We've got a new Meet the MPs out a bit later on today. But for now, from me and all the team here at Core London, have a fantastic start to your Wednesday.